Any questions for us?
What time y'all get off work today? It's a 24-hour job.
Midnight.
What's the most exciting story you had this week, man?
We're about to hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
Taj ain't on the stand.
And it's funny that you say that because you are a man of few words. You don't like doing the interviews.
Yeah.
Are you one of those guys you just prefer to let the play out on the field do the talking?
Yeah, man. That's let me play do the talking. Really, not too much need to be said. I feel like anything need to be said is politicking. Honestly, but that's just my theory.
You got to admit, though, are you having a better year than you thought you could? Or are you? You've had a great year. There's no question.
Yeah, I projected myself doing this. Honestly, I knew they was going to double team Sammy and all that good stuff. So, if I feel like I capitalize on my, what I get thrown to me, then I'll have a great season.
Do you feel like now more the attention is coming your way from defenses, and do you feel like now you're even stepping up even more than you were to kind of make the plays in traffic and things like that?
Yeah, I've been doing this since my freshman year, so it's really not a surprise to me. It might be to some people, but, I knew I could do this since my freshman year, and I felt like I showed people that, but to come out and have this big of a season, I guess it's a surprise to some.
What do you feel like has been the key to your success this year, building on the freshman sophomore years?
I would say strength and speed. Having a whole off season, dedicated to football, it's made a big impact.
I told somebody the other day that I feel like you're not only playing for Clemson, you've probably got your eyes set a little bit higher and maybe a little bit down the road. How much is that in your thoughts?
That's not really my thoughts. I'm capturing this moment, right now, and enjoying every day, every minute of what's going on right now. You think about long term, you kind of forget to have fun right now. So I'm really not worried about all that.
How do you think defenses are going to start attacking you now, considering the amount of success you've had?
Well, if I was a great defensive-minded coach, what would I do? I don't know, man. You got to pick your poison. I hope they keep, trying to focus in on, other players and leaving me single coverage, but I don't know, man. It's hard. We got so many playmakers out there. You really can't choose, a certain person to focus on. So,
how would you defend yourself? You used to play in the secondary.
I would double team me. I feel like I'm worth that double team now. But I don't know.
What is it? Virginia Tech last year, you guys really had your way against them twice. What was it about those games that, you guys struggled in some other games against maybe some teams people didn't think you should struggle against, but yeah. Virginia Tech, you just had their number last year.
I don't know, man. Last year we kind of played down to opponents, and it was a big game. We kind of played up to, to our level of play. Last year, we knew we had a lot on the line, after coming off that South Carolina loss. We had AC championship. We knew we couldn't let that one slip up from us. But we played good against Virginia Tech. I guess Coach Morris, he dials up their defense pretty good, and we played down to opponents last year, but Virginia Tech, we knew we had to have that win.
Is there any thought that that you can't really let them sneak up on? Virginia Tech's kind of had just an absolute roller coaster of a year, but yeah. This is still a pretty strong football program in the ACC.
Yeah, we don't overlook anybody. We didn't overlook the teams that the teams that we played. First couple games that they weren't that good. We gotta if you're playing Division I football, you're capable of beating anybody. So we're not worried about their record. We know what we gotta do to beat these guys.
You think they may come in here, especially from a defensive standpoint, come in here with a chip on the shoulder, considering last year against you guys and then the North Carolina game a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. Playing Division I football. Revenge is a big thing you always think about. Last year Georgia Tech. And no season and coming to that game, a lot of guys we knew we had to have their revenge, and kind of like Virginia Tech, and us, we messed up their chances of winning the AC championship, so they're going to have the chip on their shoulders coming in.
What kind of chemistry do you feel like you've built with Josh? Because it seems like you guys have sort of an innate chemistry out there that where he can throw you the ball anywhere and you'll come down with it.
Yeah, me and Taj, he completed his first touchdown catch to me, and he threw my first touchdown catch, So we got chemistry from starting day one, and we've been working with each other since my freshman year in the offseason, you know, when Taj was a backup quarterback and Kyle Parker was starting, you know. You know, it's chemistry that we've been building for I would say 3 years now, you know, strong. So it's good to see, you know, the chemistry that we have.
I think you mentioned in the season over against Auburn, when you guys were down there in the goal line, fourth quarter, you just kind of gave him a look and you gave him a look back. Is that something you want to kind of build after you've had a couple of years together?
Yeah, that's something that, you know, you gotta trust your quarterback, you gotta trust your receiver, because if you know, I gave him the wrong look and he threw a slant and I was running the fade, you know, it would be off and it would probably be a pick six or something, you know. So it's just trust between us and the chemistry that we've built over years.
But you threw a 2-point conversion to him. Are you a better quarterback than he is a receiver?
Nah. He caught it pretty nicely, you know. So, but yeah, that was a well drawn up play by Coach Morris.
It sounds like a pretty good combo with you two anyway, because Taj would do all the talking. And you can sit there, and listen, right?
You're right, man. I let Taj do all the celebrity Hollywood stuff, you know, behind the scenes, taping.
DeAndre, I mean, now that you're here, is there anything that you want to tell the fans about you that maybe people don't know, or are you just the kind of person that just kind of keeps things to yourself and only lets the people who deserve it or who you're close to kind of know who you are and what you're all about?
You know, I like letting people close to me know what I'm all about, you know. Yeah.
Your baptism got a lot of attention. I think that was partially because Coach Scott tweeted out the picture, but how do you feel like that has affected your season? How do you feel like that's played into what you've done this year?
I don't think that's affected my season at all, honestly.
How much do you get asked about? Is it NUK or NUKE by people?
Oh, it's NUK. It's a brand pacifier. It's called Nuk. You know, where I got my nickname from. It wasn't like made up, you know. But yeah, it's NUK. That's the brand name.
Somebody specifically in your family start calling your mother? Or
yeah,
your
my mother started calling me it, and it was just a neighborhood name for me, you know. I think it was like 3 kids that grew up with me named DeAndre. So, you know, they didn't have a nickname, and I had a nickname Nuk. So,
and you said it was a pacifier?
Yeah, it's a brand name pacifier.
Did you ever, when you got older, did you ever say, you know, I don't feel like being nicknamed after a pacifier? Was it too late?
It was too late by then. I tell people I got it because I'm a nuclear bomb, you know. I'm explosive.
Well, you mentioned that, but I bet 95% of the people that are in Death Valley on a Saturday when they're yelling Nuke, I think that's probably what they're thinking is, you know, that he got this nickname for like nuclear bomb.
Yeah, man.
You think they'd be surprised to find out that it's a pacifier?
They definitely would. I think if they find out, they might throw some pacifiers on the door.
See, you're sharing stuff already.
Now, didn't you tell me one time too that you got that because you were biting them in half?
Yeah, I was chewing up a lot of pacifiers. That's the only kind that I would. My mom said I would suck. So, yeah.
DeAndre, I got to ask. A lot of people from the outside would look at this and say he's having this kind of season because of the season Sammy had. You had a tremendous season last year. Would have been #1 receiver on a lot of teams last year. Was any of that in the back of your mind that Sammy got all this attention last year for what he did, and you know maybe you had to step up your game?
No, I didn't at all. Sammy's a great player, you know, and I'm happy for all his accomplishments and his achievements that he had last year. I feel like, you know, I was in the back, you know, having a great season myself, you know. I was happy. I wasn't complaining at all about anything, you know. We were winning, and when we was losing, I was still happy, you know, because it's a team effort, you know. But I just don't want people, you know, to overshadow, you know, how good Sammy is, you know, that I'm having a good season like last year, you know, when Sammy was having a good season. Or a great season, I would say not good, but great season. You know, people's overshadowed me, but you know, people see we're both great receivers. You know, no matter who's getting the ball.
And as
Right
much
now,
attention.
I was gonna say right now, Sammy is kind of struggling to find his way. Certainly compared with last year. Do you think he's close to having that breakout Sammy performance that we got used to watching last year?
I mean, he's been having a good season so far. If you ask me, for how many games he's played, you know, he had with the game he did play, he had over 100 yards. You know, and he's basically only played how many games? 2 or 3?
2.5, basically.
2.5. Yeah, you know, you can't overlook what he's done so far. You know, not many receivers are able to get in the backfield and line up and take the ball 70 yards. You know, so yeah, he's doing well if you ask me.
and as much attention as you do get, talk about that one play where you got so wide open against Georgia Tech, and what that's like, trying to get the quarterback's attention.
That's just we practice it every day. Sometimes quarterbacks have to make plays with their feet, and sometimes they have to make plays, running and then throwing, and Taj has done a great job with that this year, of not just locking in on one player, and trying to force the ball there, but when things not there, he's scrambling around and making plays. It's something that we practice every day.
You carrying on a little bit of a family legacy here. Growing up, were you familiar with what your uncle did here? Did you model yourself after him at all, or how did you?
Yeah, I did. Basically that was like my father, to me, and I knew that he played here and he had a great career here, and I kind of basically want to do the same thing, and I feel like I'm making him proud right now.
Why was it important to get baptized with in front of the team after practice?
I don't have to answer that.
Yeah, he really doesn't want to talk about that anymore. So if you want to ask about football, he'll talk about football.
Yeah.
I guess in terms of your style, how do you compare yourself to him? Have you watched any tape?
Yeah, I watched a lot of tape.
Did you model yourself after your game?
I do, man. I do, because he wasn't the fastest guy out there, but when he got the ball, he made plays happen. I don't know if y'all watched any of his highlights, but
Yeah.
He was an incredible receiver. He was going up over 3 guys, 2 guys. He won the game-winning touchdown, and I want to say the Peach Bowl maybe in Atlanta.
Yeah.
We caught a pass from Patrick Sapp, actually, who was on the sideline.
Yeah. I feel like we resemble each other a lot the way we play.
What's your 40 time? Your most recent?
The fastest I ran was 4.48.
So how much faster are Sammy and Sharon and Martavis than you?
Man, those guys are track stars, man. I'm a pure football player.
When did you time that 4.48?
It was before the season started. I would say sometime around July, maybe. Sometime in the summer, June.
Do you know what your previous, like a year previous to that, what your time would have been?
Nah, I don't remember.
You believe there's track speed and then football?
Yeah,
speed?
definitely, man, definitely.
Because you seem to be running by a lot of people for somebody.
Man, it's a difference. It's track speed and football speed. It's different.
How do you explain it?
You can't, man. You can't at all. You just gotta watch. You got some guys, that can get separation easily, and some guys that run the 4.3, can't separate from people. But when you got guys like Sammy and Sharon and Martavis, they can put that together, the track speed and football speed, and you got an incredible player.
Daniel, you played corner and safety, right?
Yeah.
And you had, 20 interceptions in your career there?
28.
28?
Yeah.
How much knowing, kind of having that DP's mentality, how much does that help you when you run routes and try to get yourself open?
Oh, it helps me a lot, man, because I haven't played DP since high school, but I kind of still know the reads and what they look at and things like that, kind of how to get open and get separation from them. It works out, a little bit in my favor having that pass DB mentality.
Did you do any unusual drills as far as practicing catching the ball?
I did in all season. I would practice catching the jug machine with one hand. The one shootout balls. That's about it. That's nothing too big.
Sounds like it would hurt.
Nah, man, it don't hurt. Sometimes it hurt. Yeah, so I just get closer and closer. Sometimes it hurt.
How do you have such awareness of where you are on the sideline throws? I mean, it seems like you're looking up trying to catch the ball, but you're able to. Is that basketball?
Nah, man, it's just practice. Just continuously doing that. Going over it. Like how you sitting here. And questions to ask me and not to ask me. It's kind of like me out there on the field. I know. I've been doing it for a while. It's just that awareness. Just practicing it, doing it over and over.
When you talk about how you built your strength and speed this season, how does that help you in games? I mean, did you feel fresher going this season because you had a season playing basketball? How's that paid off for you this year?
It's paid off. It's paid off a lot. Coach Batson and Coach Green do a great job of getting us prepared, for the season, and keeping our bodies fresh, and not overloading us too much with weights. I think it's played a big role in my success this season.
How did Coach Robinson talk you into playing football when you were pretty adamant as a freshman and stuff that you were going to play just basketball?
Oh man, he had help from a lot of guys doing that. Not just him, but a lot of people on the team. You know, players and coaches. You know, were continuously asking me, telling me to come out because we had a terrible season my freshman year in football, and guys knew that we had a good team. You know, we just needed some of the players that wasn't out there playing to come and be involved in it. But yeah, Coach Robinson, he did a good job, man. I miss that guy.
That juggling machine really do. How far do you start out? And how close do you get?
Not too far out. I probably start about 15 feet out and move closer until I just can't catch it.
And that's to improve timing, or
just improve like gripping the ball, hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Yeah, DeAndre, with the kind of season you have, I'm sure you're attracting a lot of attention from NFL scouts. I know that you said you're kind of living in the moment now.
Yeah.
Do you know in the back of your mind you may have a decision to make? You probably will have a decision to make come January.
Yeah, I don't really focus too much on that. I'm preparing for Virginia Tech right now.
All set.